Hey guys, it's JP, and today we are going to go over the importance of the hip flexors as you run, as well as great exercises to strengthen them so you can improve your running performance. I want to go over the hip flexors this time because it tends to be overlooked. When people think about strengthening the legs as a runner, usually the muscles that come to mind are the glutes, hamstrings, quads, and calves. But how about the hip flexors? Most of the popular exercises that target the hip flexors usually involve stretching them instead. While it is important to have good hip mobility, we should also think about strengthening these muscles. Now, what muscles am I specifically talking about? The strongest and primary muscles that flex the hips are known as the psoas and the iliacus muscle. The psoas basically attaches to the side of the lower part of the spine and insert right into the upper part of the thigh, otherwise known as the femur. The second is the iliacus. This muscle attaches to the top of your hip bone and inserts right into the upper part of the femur, just like the psoas. This is why they are commonly referred to as a group called the iliopsoas, even though they are separate muscles. Both work together to bring the thigh upward. Now, how does this pertain to running? The hip flexors play an important role as you run. Right after pushing off the ground, the hip flexors act to drive the leg forward. By doing so, this allows you to take steps quicker and ultimately improve speed as well. This becomes increasingly more important during high-intensity runs like sprinting, where the strategy to run faster tends to rely more on increasing step rate rather than step length. Now that we covered that, let's go over some great drills that target the hip flexors to improve the way you run. Again, I collaborated with District Track Club to make these videos for you guys. The first drill I will go over is a hip mobility drill. While I just talked about strengthening the hip flexors, you should still incorporate some drills to improve hip mobility, and this is a great dynamic exercise to perform. When on the track, this is usually performed with a hurdle, however, it is not a requirement for this one. First, stand tall. Then, extend your hips back and roll them forward as if you were trying to clear a hurdle. This helps work on overall mobility of the hip. Then, repeat this on the other side. The next exercise we will go over is the standing psoas march. This is a simple way to engage and strengthen the hip flexors. Using a band will help target those muscles. To start this one, position yourself on the wall like so. Make sure to engage your core. Then, drive your foot upward. Try to keep good trunk alignment as you perform this one. You can start this slow and controlled and work up to performing these quicker. The third exercise we will go over is the banded step up. This is an advanced drill to target the hip flexors and loads them in an extended hip position. I like this because during running, the hip flexors actually begin to generate peak force from this position. To perform this, start in a lunge. Make sure the band is positioned around the foot like this. Also, make sure to keep a straight back as you perform this activity. The weight here is optional if you want to also work on the hips and quads on the other leg. Then, drive the foot upward like so and go into a march position. You'll notice that this position may challenge your balance quite a bit. Then, return to a reverse lunge position and repeat the sequence again. And those are a few drills that target the hip flexors. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys are able to learn more about the importance of strengthening the hip flexors and learn tips to improve the way you run as well. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching.